Good day, good day, good day. Are you ready? Are you willing? Are you prepared for the enemy within class 4? Get your pads, your pens. I allow myself and your open mind to live an elevated life, to stay focused and clear, always moving towards a goal. I allow myself to let go and to learn to live and to grow. I allow myself time and space. I allow. Yes. Welcome. I'm attempting to get my camera to work correctly. To express myself. So give me just a second. There we go. You know, whenever you're moving towards something you desire in life, the opposition is always there. No matter how good the idea is and how good the desire is, everything is connected to its opposite. And you have to be ready to allow yourself to push through past opposition. Today, we're getting into the enemy within class 4. Are you ready? It's been a very interesting 4 weeks. And I'm actually feeling that we're not done. As I was working on the new slides, in fact, I was working on this morning and I was moving so fast and so much was coming to me. I was like, it's no way in the world that I could crunch all this into class 4. Because as you're creating something and as you're beginning to put something together, ideas come to you. Notions come to you. For some of us, angels come, ancestors come, ideas come from the universe, from the earth, from the birds, things you hear other people saying. And in the store, you may be in the store and you may get ideas about something you're working on. And all of that is a part of the all of everything, which we call holism. Everything is connected. Everything is connected. All of our souls and spirits are connected. There's the collective subconscious. There's the collective consciousness. Everything is everything. This subject about the enemy within. Is about what's in us. No matter how positive we are, no matter how many prayers and meditations we do, there is a part of us that is what we call the opposition. Everything has opposing forces, opposing energies. You couldn't have up without down. You can't have back without force. You can't have heaven without earth. You can't have good without bad. It is about where you focus your mind. It's about what you're pointing towards and what you are ready, willing, and able to allow yourself to push through no matter what. Yesterday, I was asked to do a VIP session, personal VIP session. It was amazing because I hadn't done one in a while. We work with one person or a family, and we do everything we can to help them become in alignment with what they desire. And, I've realized that, wow, no matter how I'm looking at how to formulate what I'm attempting to say, because English is none of ours first language. There's a spiritual, energetic, cosmic language that is much more vast than the words we use for this basic English. So, just let me pace this. When we are asked, what is it we desire? Do you realize that everything pops up in your head that you in no way desire? It's the first question I ask in a consultation. What is it you desire? And the thing that normally comes out of most people's mouths is all the things they in no way desire, what they don't want. But when asked for a simple, clean, crisp, clear sentence on what it is that you desire, what is the place? Where is the place? Who is the place? What is the space that you would like to end up in? What is the destination? It becomes almost challenging in English, which is an angle, and it's a funny thing because words don't mean the same thing to everybody. To get simple about what it is we desire, we have to do what? We have to eradicate the enemy within. Our own minds, our own habits, our own ways, our own beliefs can get in the way of us moving towards what it is we truly desire. So that we can't even explain it to someone else. And it's almost even harder to explain it to ourselves. What is it we desire? Because everything is connected to its opposite. So yesterday, doing this VIP consultation, a lot of things came to the table that hadn't come to the table. And I hadn't done one in a long time. And in fact, I'm being asked now, even in the session, will I be offering VIP consultations and VIP days? If you are interested in a VIP consultation or a VIP day with you, or maybe even a small group of people, send an email to sales@elevationtime.com. And the first question I ask people is, what would this be worth? What is the value? Because I'm going to give you much more than you asked for. That's just my nature. What do you think this is worth? A day, a VIP day, or a VIP consultation? And it's funny. This is real funny because yesterday when I was doing this VIP consultation, I check my phone when I leave and it's a man saying he's in town. He would like a VIP consultation. I hadn't even mentioned it to the world yet. I asked him, what could he afford? He says, I will do whatever you tell me. He said, because my life depends on this. So tomorrow, which is Sunday, I'll be doing another VIP day. The man called it church. I said, call it what you like. He says, this is the real church. So I will be offering select VIP days, VIP consultations. If you feel like you're a very important person, if you feel like you're ready to shift to the next level, then we together can help you personally conquer the enemy within, because that's where the enemy is. Yes, sales@elevationtime.com. Write in there what you feel you need or desire. What is your goal? Who are you? A little bit about you. And what are you willing to invest in this? Because it's going to be an investment. And that's how you got to look at it. Today, what are you willing to invest in conquering the enemy within today? Because today, if you're here, you are a VIP. If you've been in these 4 classes, and for those of you who are here for the first time, go check out the other 3 classes, which are online right now, and subscribe. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're here, you're a very important person, or a very intuitive person, or a very intelligent person. Because what we're covering in these classes is how to break the spell, how to become extremely successful at reaching your goal. And once you get there, the next step is sustaining the victory. This is important because a lot of times we win, but sustaining it becomes the challenge, especially when we go back out in the world. Sustaining the victory sometimes is more important. Now let's go back. Then getting there, you got to sustain that victory. How do you maintain vitality? Keep vitality, life force, energy. How do you maintain strength and focus and inner peace? To do this, we have to make sure that even though now we've gotten rid of our mental, physical, and spiritual parasites, we think, you've got to keep moving towards your goal by realizing that every season you're going to pick up new stuff, new ideas, new feelings, new experiences. Stuff is going to be on you. Some put on you, some you put on yourself, some you're remembering. Some of the issues that we have, we're eating. Some of the issues we have are habitual. A lot of us are on drugs. Sometimes the drug isn't something you're taking. It's something you're thinking, something you're saying, something you're feeling, something you're doing, someone you're hanging out with. Having these habits that are working against your goal are important to break. And it's not just as easy as saying, oh my God, just get off those drugs. Just get off those drugs. Somebody said, well, I'm not on drugs, but I do have a lot of stuff. Well, when you are going through something and it's something that you don't desire, if it's something challenging, guess what? Your brain is like a chemistry station. It's a chemistry machine. It's an industry of chemicals being made in your brain whenever you're going through something. Chemistry. Your brain is a chemistry machine. That's what it is. It's not your mind. Your mind is in your entire body. Your brain is a device that creates chemistry, chemicals, and signals hormones, which are chemical messengers, through your body. So chemistry is happening with every emotion. So if these chemicals are being made when you're in a disagreeable place, when you're being controlled, when you're under mind control, when you're taken, when you're sad, when you're depressed, when you're repressed, or you're acting happy and you're searching for happiness. That was one of the things in my session yesterday. The person said, I would like happiness. And we asked what happiness was. And it's like all of a sudden the eyes begin to move. And what is happiness? I need someone to make me happy. I'm looking to be happy. Happy is okay, but happy is a happening which is not sustainable. We're talking about sustaining victory. If you reach happiness, how are you going to stay there? It's got to be converted and transmuted into joy. Happiness, I'm going to say it again, must be converted and transmuted into joy, because joy cannot be taken from you. Joy comes from you. Joy is within you. You become a generator of joy when you get in that place. And you stay in that place and you maintain the victory over all the other things other than joy. Happiness is a short-lived thing. Yes, happiness is okay to be happy for a while. But how are we going to sustain that? When the enemy within us, our mindsets within us, the bugs that live in us, the foods that may be eating us alive, the chemicals that are in our atmosphere are constantly coming. Unless you're living in a hermetically sealed tube out here in the world, you're going to pick up new parasites. You're going to pick up energies and entities from other people. Yes, evil does exist. I'm going to say it again. Evil does exist. So you can act happy all day long, but the opposition to whatever you would like exists also. So to maintain it, there are things that we must do. Some of those we're going to get into today. And it looks like, we're going to need to do class 5. And let me ask you right now, who out there would like to do class 5? Because once I get on the road with this, it's so much comes to me. And I realized today when I was working on some of these slides, I'm like, this is vast. New information is coming every day when you ask the universe for new information. So if you out there would like class 5, then put that in the chat. If some of you have any ideas on the next series, because I'm drawing a blank on what the next series should be, because I am full of information. I'm full of life. I'm full of experiences. But when you ask me, well, Dr. B, what should we do next? I go blank. I don't know. I need to be prompted. Like you prompt AI, you need to prompt Dr. B. What subjects, if you have some subjects that you would like us to explore that we can do in a series, you can also send that information to sales@elevationtime.com. So if you have ideas for, not for class 5, because I already know where I'm going to go on class 5, because we haven't closed this loop. And I really like, things coming in odd numbers. To me, odd numbers are the God numbers. The even numbers are not the even numbers of nature. There are really no even numbers too much in nature. Everything is odd. 3, 6s, and 9s and things like that. Those are the odd numbers, which I call the God numbers. And one of the first names they said of God in Europe was Odd or Odin. So I'm down for doing 5. If y'all are down for doing 5, and if you'd like to experience a VIP day where you can have a whole day or even a session with Dr. B, then go to sales@elevationtime.com. Write down what you think you could invest and what you think it's worth and what you would like to talk about or do. And if you have a small group of people, we could possibly even, do a VIP session with a group of people. And if it's in town, if it's in either, Los Angeles or if it's in Atlanta, it'll be one way. But if I've got to travel or if you've got to travel, we got to put all that into the situation. The enemy within is about us dealing with things in ourselves versus looking outward at all the problems in the world and all the things that are outside attacking us. The enemy are things within us. They're habits within us, things we've eaten, things we breathe, things that we have inducted into our way of life that could be parasitic, eating us alive. Now that we're reaching this place called victory, we must sustain that. Vitality, strength, focus, and inner peace is a thing that has to be upgraded constantly. You just don't get there and stay there. You just don't take a class and go take a mushroom or go take some plant teacher trip and some journey or go to some lecture or go to church and get saved. It is something that must be maintained. That means that you have to keep doing it. It's something that must be repeated. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. Somebody I was asked the other day, they said, well, Dr. B, what could you do to get wealthy and to get rich? I said, well, first thing you need to do is study the rich people and do what they do. Now, not everything they do, but try to, do a little editing to make sure that it's within alignment with your spirit. But there's habits of people that are rich and wealthy. Also, study the habits of the people that you consider not rich and not healthy or wealthy. If you would like to get healthy, study the habits of the healthy people. Also, study the habits of the unhealthy people and look at yourself and don't judge. Look at you. That's how you maintain victory, by knowing what to look towards and what to study. You maintain vitality by doing things that give you life force and not things that take your life. You become strong. You become, the strength comes from you being willing to go past opposition, go past the pain, go past the problems, and get into the habits of converting, transmuting, transposing whatever it is that may be holding you back into something good, turning those ashes into power, using them as fertilizer, using your issues as fertilizer, and not thinking that all these things have superpower over you. You have to have superpower within you. You have to become the superpower. And there's a few things that you could tweak right now in your life in the next 28 days that will change you. Are you ready for that? Inner peace, inner balance. And it is not something that just happens once. You must rinse and repeat. You will be tested. Some of you today, what we're going to talk about is going to test you to your core. Some folks feel like they got it. I got it, Dr. B. I got it. I'm conscious now. I'm aware. I found the mountain. I'm a winner. That's great. We've got to maintain that. This program is brought to you by Elevation Foundation for Abundant Life. Elevation for Abundant Life, which is also known as elevationtime.com. This program is also brought to you by Dr. B's Natural Solutions. Dr. B's Natural Solutions, products that help you live a better life, healthier life in a healthier way, and become your higher self. Before we even go any further, who's here for the first time? If you're here for the first time, put in the chat that you're here for the first time. If you're here for the first time, put it in the chat. If you have been here before, and if you put it in the chat that you're here for the first time, also, we're doing a little market research. So let us know how you found out about it. How did you hear about this? Was it TikTok? We have a TikTok page now. Yeah, Dr. B Serious at TikTok. Also, IG. Was it Facebook? Was it Instagram? Instagram is IG, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Was it one of the platforms? Is it YouTube? Did you get a message on YouTube? In fact, if you become a what do you call it? A subscriber, you'll get a message each time we're doing something. So that may be a good way to stay in touch with what we're creating here at elevationtime.com. If you've been here before, then put in here you've been here before and where you're at. Where are you in the world? Share with us where you are and where you're going. Would that be okay? So give me 1 second to change. I need to do a little technical thing really quickly, and then we'll get started with our presentation for the day. And for those of you in the chat, if you've got nothing good to say, then just be quiet. And if you're here as an antagonist, or if you are parasitic, or you are the enemy, then okay, welcome, but you won't be chatting. Those of you who have things to say, let's be careful what we project and what we send out, and watch out for the judgment and watch out for the enemy, because there is an opposition out there. Let's move. Some of you know about the Platinum Life monatomic elixir, but I'm going to mention it now because this really helps people wake up from the sleep. This is the Real Pineal Activator. This product is available at elevationtime.com. It's for anti-aging and energizing, telomere repair, intuition enhancement, heavy metal detoxification, which most people are dealing with heavy metal detoxification. And that is really challenging to deal with. So it takes things like humic acid and fulvic acid and a special formulation of what they call monoatomic elements to even deal with what they're calling heavy metals. Yeah, we've heard that you could eat certain foods like cilantro, but you would have to eat darn near a truckload of cilantro. So it by itself is good, but it's not going to go deep enough because we've been breathing in and bathing in and dealing with and wearing heavy metal for a very long time. And they're keeping us from moving towards victory. So this is something that can really help you wake up quickly from that sleep, realize who you are, and begin to see the unseeable to the average person and know the unknowable to the average person. Once you step into this place, you can really begin to conquer your own mindset, and you move past what other people think and what other people feel. This is one of our number one products, has been for many, many years. And this is just amazing. This is one of my favorites. And we made this, we reformulated for Dick Gregory. We had another version that we did for a while for Michael Beckwith. This one is the choice of people who feel powerful, would like to stay powerful. If you feel like you're a very important person and you've got something really to do in this life, this is a product that can help you get there quickly. Okay. I'm going to say this quickly before we move to this next section. The Elevated Total Body Program is a sale going on right now. In fact, for those of you who are looking for the new discount code, we just created a new discount code just for this class. This is good until Sunday, this Sunday. In fact, these are YouTube classes, so we have to also mention that this Sunday on this YouTube is actually October the 5th, 2025. So that discount code is only that's for the next day. That's October 5th, which is Sunday. Because, when these live on YouTube, they live there forever. And folks have been sending me messages saying, Dr. B, there's no discount code. And they're, months down the line from the original show. All right. Okay, let's move. Is everybody okay? Good. Is it okay that I share with you some information that you may have never heard before? Is that okay? Do I have permission to speak from this place? Is it okay if we make this a little fun? Is it okay if we go a little deep? Is it okay if some of these things may agitate and pull up some things deep within you that you may not have known? Is it okay that we speak towards new desires, new goals, and climb? Is it okay that we elevate together? Then let's keep going. Sustaining the victory, maintaining vitality, strength, focus, and inner peace. That is the goal. To get to the highest place that we can go at this time and maintain it. The real secret weapon. Yes, we're going right in today. The real secret weapon, y'all, is processed sugar. It creates what we call the domino effect. Because this processed sugar keeps people in a place where they're hooked, where they're crooked. Is that a word? Crooked. You've been crooked. And I want to say this, that this piece right here, even in, the natural food stores and this natural eating, it's a challenge because and I'm not talking about natural sugars. There's natural fruit sugars. We're talking about this processed white and processed brown sugar, not sugar cane itself. If you're eating sugar cane straight from the sugar plant, then it is not the same as these small molecules, which are closely related to cocaine, that get in your body and get in your blood and you can even smell it. People will salivate around sugar. You can be in the sugar aisle of a store and you could smell that sugar, and there's a response in your body because we have been processed and programmed since children to crave sugar, and our bodies need glucose. In fact, your brain uses more glucose than any other part of your body. But those are natural sugars if they're natural glucose, but there is also unnatural and refined sugars that have the same effect on your body as far as your body using it, but it uses it and it decreases your life force. It's draining you. It's like a parasite. That's why we're going to talk about this today, because it's a parasite that you wouldn't think of as a parasite. Why do we crave sugar? We crave sugar because its powerful effects on our brain's reward system, which releases dopamine, creating pleasure and desire for more. Other reasons include blood sugar fluctuations, which can trigger cravings to restore energy quickly, stress and lack of sleep that deplete energy, emotional factors such as boredom, learned habits of rewarding ourselves with sweets, and even potential nutrient deficiencies such as lack of magnesium. Think about when you were young. If you did something good, you could have a cookie. This is one of the ways that they say they conquered the people of Australia, the indigenous people, by putting sugar along the pathways in the evening when the family, the children, and everybody would usually be with the tribe, learning and living and loving and connecting, and you had stories and you were connecting as a village. But when the conquerors came, they realized that these people had never had sugar. They never had this kind of candy. They had natural candy, natural fruits. So they began to give the children these sugars, these processed sugar products. And they began to sprinkle it around the pathways, especially around dinner time, so that the children now would leave the family group, leave the family gathering, and go to the roads, the pathways where the sugar had been left by the conquerors. So every time it was dinner time, that when your body was saying it's time to eat with the family, you begin to leave the family and go out and eat these sugars by the side of the road. And now you're hooked on that. Now the people can be conquered because those children are going to grow up dope fiends, craving sugar, craving sweet nothings, things that give you very little. So just think about how that was done all over the world to give the youth something that seemed valuable, something that, took their attention. If you give the young people something that takes away their attention and their focus, then they will be programmed on desiring more of that and not about learning the ways of the village, the ways that make us cohesive, the ways that we have used for thousands and thousands of years to be a family unit, to be a village, to be powerful, to move towards success and vitality. You cannot maintain success and vitality if you're hooked on sweet nothings, something that gives you nothing. A lot of people today realize that it happened in childhood, even with our parents giving us all this sweet stuff with processed sugar. This started around the late 1800s and 1900s when they realized that the food was so bad in these cities. Go check out the movie or the documentary, The Food That Built America. Just the first, it's a lot of them. It's a whole series. Just the first two will blow your mind, where they were creating fast foods and trying to cover up the rotten meat and the rotten food and the rotten smell. They coated it with sugar and other things that got people hooked on it. And our parents are part of this too. And we as parents have done this too. To keep the baby quiet, to keep the children quiet, give them some sweet nothings. Give them an iPad at 2 years old. Sweet. Feels good. You now as a parent can go do your thing because you just gave the child electronic crack, electronic sugar. Have you heard what's happening when parents take away these devices? The children can snap. So, energetically, these pads and these phones are like a type of sugar. They're sweet nothings. Gabor Mate. Do y'all know about Gabor Mate? Please write that name down. Gabor Mate. Go check out Gabor. Gabor is on it. And he's one of the top doctors and researchers that deals with addiction because he himself has been through addiction. Like myself, I have been deep in what they call addictive natures. So when you've been through something, sometimes you can help other folks break that spell. When you help them by using some of the techniques or some of the ways that you have done to transform your life so that you can have more vitality. And that's sustaining this is a deep thing. Sustaining, your life force after you've broken a spell or broken a habit. But Gabor Mate says he views addiction as a mortal failing or disease, but as a normal response to trauma and pain. He argues that addiction stems from an attempt to find relief from inner emptiness, suffering, or a traumatic past. How many of us have had that? He emphasizes asking, why the pain? Instead of why the addiction? Did you hear that? Why the pain instead of why the addiction? Highlighting the need to understand the underlying suffering and driving the addictive behavior. So when you say, hey, that person is hooked on this, they're on drugs, and they just need to get off. We need to first, have a little grace and stop judging because some people cannot stop. It's not that easy. We got to get to what is causing it because the addiction is a symptom of a deeper pain, of a deeper situation, of deeper trauma. Processed sugar. It hijacks the reward system. Dopamine, and that's why they call drugs dope, because usually it's dopamine. Dopamine is not bad, but dopamine can also cause us to keep wanting or desiring to do something over and over to receive some sort of pleasure, which a lot of times is what we call happiness. And it's a happening. It's not joy. It's a happening. It's short. Dopamine spikes like addictive drugs leads to cravings and tolerance. You tolerate and you need more and more and more because your tolerance level changes. It's a mood roller coaster, a quick high, followed by a crash, fatigue, and irritability. Boy, don't we know about that. Memory impairment weakens the hippocampus, reducing learning and recall. You can't even remember what it was like to be off of this. You can't remember what you were doing and you were moving towards a goal, and then you got some sweet nothings and you put a pound of sugar in a cup of coffee to make it through the day. You can't remember your true purpose. It's been wiped away. Brain inflammation. It fuels oxidative stress, depression, and anxiety risk. It's processed sugar, y'all. Stress amplifier. Overstimulates adrenal stress response, cortisol. Whoa, cortisol is the stress hormone. Long-term damage linked to Alzheimer's. Did y'all know that? Insulin resistance in the brain. Alzheimer's, insulin resistance in the brain. Did you know Alzheimer's is now being called type 3 diabetes? Y'all okay? Physiological disruptions. spiritual disconnect. Now, to me, this is this is it. This is huge. Blood sugar swings. The spikes and crashes from processed sugar destabilize mood, making meditation, prayer, or contemplation harder to sustain. Brain fog. Sugar dulls clarity and attention, reduces the capacity for spiritual focus or higher states of awareness. Dopamine hacking, loss of inner fulfillment. You can't do nothing without this sugar. People say, Dr. B, this stuff is too bitter. We need to make it sweet. This is because you're hooked on sweet nothings. And it is the bitter medicine. It is the bitter food. It is the bitter herbs. It's the bitter plants that actually have most of the healing power. There are some things that are sweet, that are natural, that are actually, good for you. But most of the things in this world, right, that are really good are bitter, or they'll take you through a challenge, or it's tough getting there. You got to go through some pain to get to the place of heaven. Sugar overstimulates the reward pathways, training the brain to seek eternal stimulation, cravings, rather than inward satisfaction. Have y'all ever heard about this before? Has anybody talked about this? I really haven't really seen it much, but that's why I would like to put a spotlight on this piece. This can crowd the subtle sense of peace, stillness, and contentment that spirituality cultivates. Wow. A spoonful of sugar helps the poison go down. What effect is processed sugar having on the brain and the glands in the brain? Remember, the brain uses more glucose than any other organ, and it's working 24/7. Even during dream time, it's working. It needs sugar. It needs to be stimulated by glucose. And if it's being stimulated by unnatural sugar, processed sugar, it begins to decrease the functioning of the brain, the interconnectivity of the neurons. It also decreases the function of the glands in the head. When you eat processed sugar or anything, there's something called leptin. Leptin is created by the friendly bacteria in your gut. It sends a message up through the vagus nerve to tell your hypothalamus that you may have had enough of something or you need more of something. It is creating balance. It's creating homeostasis. This is what your body is really seeking. When you're in wellness, you're in homeostasis, in balance. If you eat a bunch of processed sugar, it hits the body immediately because it has a very high glycemic index. The glycemic index of processed sugar is 99 or more. What does that mean? If it has a low glycemic index, it means that it takes longer to dissolve or break down and be injected into the blood. Sugar or sugar crack hits the blood immediately. As soon as it hits the mucosa of your mouth, even when you smell it, it signals chemistry in your brain. Your natural body goes into defense mode and says, this is poison. But your mental parasite says, no, we need more of this. We need this. We don't have enough sweetness in our life. We don't have enough love. We don't have enough this. We just watch the news. We feel sad. I need some crack to stimulate me, to keep me going. Do you know when the processed sugar comes in sheets, right? It comes in clumps, and they do have to crack it up and powder it. So it technically is a type of crack. And it slips in the cracks in your spirit, the places in between your traumas and your dramas. It slips in there and makes you feel better. You feel doped up. You feel good because you just had a cup of coffee with 3 cups of sugar. I keep going to coffee because that's one of the things that's the number one beverage on the planet. They say is coffee. And I'm not saying coffee is bad. Depends on where you get it from, what the source is and how it's roasted and all those type of things. But the main thing people are going to put in their coffee is going to be a sweetener. And there's natural sweeteners you could use, but the cheapest one is going to be white processed sugar. You feel good. Oh my God, this feels good. I think I can conquer the world. You see? And what happens? It's no way you can sustain this. No way is this truly creating inner peace. It may be happiness, but it's not joy, because you need another cup of crack-filled sugar to crack open that smile that you're going to hold only for a short time. Yes, aspartame too. Asp. I don't eat things that begin with asp. Aspartame. That is a we can cover this in 5. We need to talk about these things that shock your nervous system. Excitotoxins. They excite your nervous system, and they do it unnaturally. And it actually burns out your neurons. It burns out your nervous system. Aspartame, an artificial sweetener, is a nervous system burnout chemical. There's a whole lot of artificial sweeteners they got out there too, because they tell you, well, the white sugar is bad. It killed the rats in the lab. You know that, right? So we're going to create some artificial sweeteners. They got a bunch of them. They look white. They feel white. You got to be careful of anything too white, because it ain't right. You don't have no color, no soul, no vibration. It's been wiped out. Be careful. Now, there are some natural ones that are actually, they made some things now to look white. You know what I'm saying? You got monk fruit. Monk fruit is really good, and they've made it where, you can get monk fruit and it looks and acts and tastes like sugar. Monk fruit is actually a good food. Coconut sugar, it's usually brown, a very good food, gives your body energy, slowly digest. And these things have a glycemic index down below 30. That means it takes a long time to reach your blood. The longer the sugar takes to reach your blood, as it slowly digests, the better it is, because you're not going to get that crack hit. Bam, instantly. You got on a cape. You're Superman, Superwoman, or super them, or super they. You got to be careful today. Super they. Then they live. They live doing what? Do you live or do they live? How is this supporting your life? Is it something sustainable? Is it creating vitality? Or is it something that you have to habitually do to feel conscious, to feel good, to feel spiritual? In the early 1900s, when they were creating all these things and using sugars, this sugar began to attack the proper functioning of the hypothalamus. So at that point, a lot of people could not connect to their spirituality because their pineal gland was damaged by sugar. Their pituitary, which has a lot to do with love and creating the hormone oxytocin, was interrupted So somebody can say they love you enough times and you feel like they do. You don't even know how to sense real, true love or create real love or be real love because your pituitary has been affected by sugar. When the pineal is affected by sugar, you can't tap into your true spirituality or the cosmos. So anybody can interject their belief and their religion and their rules and their laws and tell you that they're God and they were sent by God and they could tell you all this stuff and you would go for it. So the churches got big. Not that churches are bad. I'm talking about these churches where you don't do any study. You don't look into yourself. You're just sitting there and you're just going along with whatever they're telling you because you're sugared up. And then afterwards, they're going to have a potluck. And what's going to be in that pot? A honey baked ham. They're going to have all kind of sugared corn. They're going to have sugary sweets and all these sugary sweets like the candies they have at the doctor's office. You're at the doctor's office and you're sick and they got a big bowl of processed sugar for you to go in the doctor's office and lose your mind and forget who you are and feel like the doctor is controlling your life and the doctor knows everything when the doctor just goes to what is it called? AI, and ask AI, what's wrong with you? Okay, calm down, Dr. B. I gotta breathe. This is why we're going to have class 5 because I'm on slide 10 and I think we got 50 slides today. Woo! Stay on course, Dr. B. Come on, calm down. You go off on these tangents. This is me talking to myself. You go off on these tangents, Doc, and sometimes don't even come back. This is true. I'm not going to lie. Okay. Where was I? Subtle body, which is like your energetic bodies, your spiritual body, and energetic effects. Many mystical and indigenous traditions teach that refined sugar dulls the nervous system and lowers the vibration, making one less sensitive to intuition or divine consciousness or divine connection. And both of them. Didn't I just say that? This is what it does. It disconnects you from the higher sources. Chronic sugar use can block the natural flow of energy, ki or prana or life force, leading to sluggishness instead of spiritual vitality. Addiction versus liberation. Spirituality emphasizes discipline, clarity, and freedom from attachments. Sugar addiction binds the will, reinforces dependency on physical cravings instead of higher nourishment, truth, meditation, wisdom, and divine love. Is this good or is this good? Symbolic and scriptural echoes. Many traditions discourage gluttony or overstimulation of the senses, warning it clouds the perception. Give the candies to the children. When they grow up, they will be hooked on whoever gave them the candy. In a metaphorical sense, excess sugar is sweet poison. It seduces but weakens, creating a cycle opposite to the spiritual path of strength and liberation. They got a sugar holiday, y'all. In fact, most of the holidays are sugar, but they got 1, 2. I just thought about it. Man, this is deep. One of them is coming up. Halloween. What do they call it? All Hallows Eve, which is a actual. I'm going to be careful because I know some folks. There's a whole ritual that goes on for 3 days around Halloween that has something to do with the elites that control the mindset of people. But Halloween is all about trick or treat. People dress up in these outfits. And today, this particular Halloween, you may not be able to tell the regular people from the ones dressed up because the people that's dressed up now, they've been tricking and treating themselves and putting on all this stuff, all this cake up and makeup and fake up till they're already in a costume for All Hallows Eve. So this year's could be a little different. You don't know. Is that an outfit or not? I'm off on a tangent. Get back on, Dr. B. Candy Day. You know, Thanksgiving, what's the most important thing about Thanksgiving is not that turkey. It's about those pies and those cakes, and they don't taste the same without mama's white, pure cane sugar. That's the one. And got to be careful with this pure cane sugar because they may be calling it cane sugar, but it's processed cane sugar. The white sugar comes from cane. Now, they also can get it from beets, but they process it. So it's refined. It's played with it. It's toyed with. It's made into a drug. What do you think Christmas is? It's about the treats, the Christmas candies that you got to leave candy out for Santa Claus. Do y'all know about the true Christmas, the real Christmas? We're doing a class and a workshop about decoding Christmas, the real Christmas. So make sure you're on our email list at elevationtime.com and also subscribe here and follow us on all the platforms because we're about to get into this holiday season starting with All Hallows Eve into Thanksgiving, which can be Thanks-taking if you're not careful and you haven't recoded that, and about Christmas. The real Christmas happens inside of you, and it's something that is so sacred and coded. When you find out who Santa Claus is and how they try to convince you to leave treats out for the Santa Claus and what that symbolically is saying about you. Yeah, it goes deep. Processed sugar is parasite fuel. Parasites, fungi, and harmful bacteria feed on processed sugar, especially refined glucose and fructose. Now, there's a natural fructose that you get from natural fruit, but after you pulled it out and played with it and turned it around and gave it back to the people as fructose, you got to be careful. A high sugar diet strengthens parasites, giving them the energy to multiply and spread more aggressively. It lowers your immunity. So what we're talking about today is how to sustain victory. You must be very careful if you are a warrior. And today you're going to have to be a warrior because evil does exist. Opposition exists. It is not something that is just, we can just be happy. Oh, it's go, don't worry. No, it takes daily awareness to focus on where you're going, what you're doing, who you're talking to, because a lot of times you're talking to, being intimate with, befriending the enemy. Somebody that is against you, somebody that is parasitic, people or groups of people. And, you know, they got clubs of people that are working to suck the energy away from the unaware. You must be aware. So you need to know where the bad side of town is. You need to know where to look on that label, what to read. And so you have to be studied. You just can't approve yourself and say, oh my God, I'm conscious now. I'm deep. All I eat is vegan food. What is vegan food? Some of this vegan food is worse than the other food. Have y'all read the labels? It's getting worse and worse. Plant-based. They make it look like chicken. I'll never forget the year we had some, we decided we was going to go ahead and do Thanksgiving, and we went and bought these plant-based soy chickens or turkey. And they formed it and put it in molds, and this stuff was rubbery. We were eating rubber. It was plastic. They make plastic from soy. You know that, right? And then I spiced it up and made it taste good because I can make I can cook now. I know what to do with some spices. That's why the herbal products taste so good, because I am a specialist in the kitchen. We fixed this stuff up and made it taste good and put the dressing and everything on it. And let me tell you something. Dogs don't get as sick as I was. This was non-digestible. And we even did a prayer. Oh boy, we're going to do the Thanksgiving prayer over this stuff. What are y'all praying over? What's praying on you? Oh God, please give this dead fake chicken some life. I'm going to leave that alone. Processed sugar weakens the immune system by suppressing white blood cell activity for hours after consumption. With weakened defenses, the body becomes easier for parasites to invade and control. It creates a gut environmental shift. Sugar causes gut dysbiosis. I can't even say the word. I said it yesterday, but today the sugar's got my tongue. Dysbiosis. Somebody say it. Sound it out for me. Imbalance in the microbiome. Healthy bacteria are starved while candida, worms, and protozoa flourish, creating inner terrain favorable for parasites. Dysbiosis. Thank you. Dysbiosis. There we go. Dysbiosis. Thank you, Jay. You know, I had issues in spelling class and reading class. So I'm working on it. I'm doing really well. Now, if I use a different voice, I can read okay. But if I attempt to speak and read in my own regular voice, I start stuttering and I can't see, and the words get all crazy. How many of y'all have that? Use another voice if you have to. I was a radio announcer for a while, and I used to make commercials. So if I use that voice, all of a sudden, everything changes because I'm not me. Hidden processed sugar in health foods. Yeah, dysbiosis. Thank you, Philly Cat. Philly Cat, you're here all the time. Butterfly Kiss. Welcome all y'all. All of y'all have been here. All of y'all who have been here supporting and, investing. And those of you who have been, giving us donations at elevationtime.com. Thank you for the donations. They go to help do more natural health research. Donate to the folks and the people and the things in life that are helping you do what you do. And whenever you give money, say return 1,000-fold. And by saying that, you may invest or donate more. That's what the rich people know. They'll pay for something you may pay $15 for. They may have the same thing for $1,500 on their side of town. But they say return 1,000-fold. Whenever they're sending money out, they're recirculating it by telling it to bring back more. Somebody says, do you have Cash App? Yes, we do. I don't know how to put the Cash App in here. There's a way to do it. Let me see. Take a second to do it. Y'all all right? Okay, here we go. I just figured out how to do it. Cash App. I appreciate you all for being patient and also investing this time. I know that time is valuable, and you've got many things you could choose to do. And if you choose to be here, you choose to experience something new. Here we go. I'm gonna write the Cash App in. Let's see. We gotta breathe sometime, y'all. There we go. I think that's it. I think I did it right. It's a big E. It's an orange circle with a big E. Thank you for all of you who, donate to what we're doing. And that creates new programs, new ideas, and helps to fund our research. Hidden processed sugar in health foods. Come on now, Dr. B. Common culprits. This is the enemy within. Huh? Be careful. Granola. What is granola? Did you know 50% of the people can't really digest oats very well? Did you know that? Common oats. Oats are good. You see the smiling dude on the Quakers. Is he real? What does this do to your gut? Because it has lectins. Some people do okay with it, but the average person does not do well with oats. And this granola is full of lectins. Be careful. Unless you're making your own way, that's different. But the store-bought commercial one, it is going to have issues. And they sugar it up and they sweeten it up. Protein bars. That sounds good. I'm going to go get a protein bar. I'm not going to eat today. I'm just having protein bars. What is the protein in your bar? Cane sugar, cane syrup, agave. Be careful with agave. I would only use organic dark agave. Flavored yogurt. Up to 30 grams of sugar. Plant milks, sweetened almond, oat, and soy. Those are the ones I'd be real careful with. This almond milk, be careful because the almonds, the way they're processed is the issue. And they put a lot of sugar in these things to make them what? Taste better. Protein powders, maltodextrin. What is that? Look up maltodextrin and find out. Since you're asking chat everything, ask chat. What the heck is maltodextrin? Where do they get it from? And is it good for you? Fructose. What type of fructose? Is that fruit sugar? Possibly. You have to do a little more research. Dried fruit. They dry fruit, which is already sweet, but since it goes through a lot of processing and heat, some of the sweetness is dehydrated out of it. So what do? They coat it in sugar. Imagine you're eating fruit that needs to be dipped in sugar, like the candy apple. Y'all remember the candy apple? Dude, this was poison. That's why you got on those rides and ate that. What was that other stuff they ate? Cotton candy. The stuff at the playground, at the amusement park, most of it was poison. And you're on these rides, being scared. Okay to be scared. I really disliked the amusement park. I hated it after a while, especially when we got on that a roller coaster and that sucker broke. And me and my brother was a car away from falling hundreds of feet. Yes. I think my brother might have forgot about that. I think I'm going to call him and remind him of what happened at the amusement park when we was on the ride called Mickey Mouse. Why was we on the ride called the Mickey Mouse? Whew. We should have known then that Disney and dizziness and all that stuff was invading our brains a long time ago, giving us these cartoons, which is another type of fake sweetness, fake fun, where most of it is violence and sex in the cartoons. Now they do have some good ones now. You know, what was that? What was that? Winnie the Pooh. I think that was some deep stuff. He was always on some deep stuff. But most of the stuff was sweetness that the parents gave you. And they gave you sweetness while you watched it. And you got a reward for being good, which was usually more sugar to help program you. But the sugar was given to you to keep you from waking up and being totally aware and leaving the mainstream and leaving the pen or leaving the farm and becoming the black sheep and being totally aware of who you are, expanding yourself past the crack, the sugar, the control, and the mindset of people who are walking into hell. Stay on course, Dr. B. Nut butters, added sugar, and palm syrup. Palm syrup could be good, but if you add it to a nut butter, you have any idea what happens chemically? I can't get into it today. Palm syrup is actually decent. That's coconut sugar. But if you add it to certain foods, there's chemistry that happens that does the opposite of what you would like to happen. There's chemistry involved. Other sneaky sources of sugar, multigrain bread. What is HFCS? Have y'all seen that on packages? They don't even tell you what it is. Anytime they just got some letters and don't tell you what it is, you got to be careful. There is evil in the world. You got to find heaven on earth and move away from the evil. Molasses, that is processed sugar. They just burn it and, you know, they. Breathe, Dr. B. Take your time. Breathe, Dr. B. I got to talk to myself because I get so excited. Sports drinks. What is a sports drink? Is that different than other drinks? A sport drink is different than a regular drink because sports people use sports drinks, don't they? And what is a soft drink? Soft. What is a hard drink? Hard drinks, which most of the alcohols are made from sugar or from fermentation, which starts with sugar. So a lot of people that have sugar habits also have alcohol habits because the alcohol, which creates sugars of alcohol, alcohols of sugar, this is a deep thing. It's like a merry-go-round going round and round, and you're riding this sucker, and the horses look ugly. Doo, doo, doo. The music ain't right. Doo, doo, doo. You're on a merry-go-round. A cracker go round. How you like that? A cracker go round. Somebody write that. A cracker go round. It's fun. This is great. I felt happy. Happiness is fleeting. You cannot maintain your victory doing some of these things that were created by the people and the beings that want to sell you more crack, sell you more habits. Vitamin water. What the hell is that? I saw one a couple months ago. I was like, what is this vitamin water? I grabbed the container. It was in this aluminum can, first of all. And aluminum is toxic. Right? I'm in it, and I realized, oh, inside this is not aluminum. Inside it, there's plastic to align you from the aluminum. So this is plastic, this is aluminum, and they've got some water in here which has all kinds of chemicals in it that make you feel like you have something sweet. Salad dressings. You got to dress up this, your tongue, your palate. Really, you got to be careful here, because you don't even want that salad unless you have some sweet nothings on it, some toxic poison that's going to cause you not to be able to digest the vegetables. Salad dressing. You got to be careful. Sauces. What's in these sauces? When you watch the show, The Food That Built America, their main thing is to create sauces like ketchup and these gravies to cover up the dead food. That's why it's a grave. This stuff is dead and lifeless. So let's cover it up so people can't smell it. See, the average person today has the lost sense of disgust. That is a real thing. Look it up. The lost sense, there was a natural sense called disgust. And when you saw something, felt something, saw something, well, smelled something, felt something, it witnessed something that was disgusting, you moved away from it and you wouldn't give it to your family. Now, when the mama has the lost sense of disgust, or the woman has the lost sense of disgust, she will do things that are not natural. She'll wear things. She'll say things. She'll commit crimes against her own self. She'll do self-harming things to herself and her family, and the man is going to follow. Man will follow. Woman jumps off the cliff. Men jump off the cliff too. Women get fake. Men get fake too. Let's not just talk about the women that's all faked up. Let's talk about the faked up men, because they want to look a certain way. They heard that if they had a 6-pack or a 12-pack, or if they was fine and they, could put on a wig and put on weaves and do whatever they need to do and talk a certain way, this whole consciousness talk, a lot of times it's really fake. It sounds good, sister. How you doing? Grand risings. Have you heard about the Ankh of the Ankishness of the spiritualism and the magnetic mathematical sequences of the pyramids? People know the talk now. It's all over the social media. So they can fake it and make it sound sugary, the sugared tongue. Y'all know about the sugar tongue? Oh, he sounds so smooth. Oh, she talks so soft. And then Thanksgiving comes, right? Then Christmas comes. We want to see how you going to do this. And wait till you get to Valentine's Day. You might not get none on Valentine's Day if you don't get enough sugar and sweetness and fake candy. Chocolate is actually good for you. There's lots of magnesium. If you get the real cacao, you'll have a spiritual effect. If it's real, original chocolate. It helps to open up your blood vessels, help to get iron in your system. This is the real cacao. But now we put it with some sugar and sugar it down and say, I love you. Happy Valentine's Day. Do you know the roots of Valentine's Day and who Saint Valentine's was and who Cupid was and what this was about? They turned it into a sugar holiday. Healthy cereals. Be careful, y'all. Hidden names for sugar. Natural sweeteners. What is a natural sweetener? Brown rice syrup. Sounds good, doesn't it? Brown rice syrup. Cane juice. Maltodextrin, corn syrup. One of the most poisonous things that ever existed on the planet was corn syrup, or high fructose corn syrup. That's the way they conquered the world, with candy. Fruit juice. How much sugar is in it? Fruit juice concentrate. What do you mean? It's really strong. It's a special apple. They took the apple and concentrated the apple. How do you concentrate an apple? How do you concentrate an orange? What do you mean concentrate? You can't concentrate once you eat it, because now you are in a camp, in an encampment. We're talking about the art of war right here. It's a concentration camp. The enemy will have you in a mental, physical, spiritual concentration camp called a farm, and you'll be looking for more farm. So you go to the pharmacy to look for more to cover up the symptoms of being incarcerated. Dextrose. That don't even sound right. Dex. That X ought to scare the heck out of you. Fructose. Glucose. Whew. Cravings and control. Parasites themselves may influence host cravings. Oh, wait a minute. This just ain't the conquerors. This is just not the people who may have put us in bondage. The parasites themselves may influence host cravings, pushing you towards more sugar, which in turn feeds them. This creates a cycle of sabotage. Y'all was in the last couple classes about self-sabotage. Parasites drive sugar cravings. Sugar feeds parasites. Parasites get stronger. Energy drain and brain fog. Parasites release toxic byproducts as they digest sugar. Did you know that? Combined with sugar's own parasite. Whew, this is deep. Combined with sugar's own blood glucose crashes. There's something missing in there, huh? Combined with sugar, I think it's the word parasite supposed to be. The parasite's own blood sugar glucose crashes. This leads to more fatigue, mood swings, brain fog, lower willpower, making it harder to break free from the cycle. I may have read that wrong. Forgive me if it's something missing in there, but you know what I'm talking about. And yes, cancer makes you crave sugar. In fact, how do they find cancer in the body? They put this glucose, this fructose, this high, I think it's actually corn syrup or something, they put in your body. They make you drink it. Your body becomes sweet. Parasites and cancers are attracted to the sugar. So they can detect where the parasite or where the, I keep saying parasite and cancer intertwinably. There's another word, intertwinably, because they're connected. And they may be the same thing, acting and looking differently. But when I think it's a PET scan. Is it the PET scan where you lay down, they pump you full of sugar? Somebody put that in there. Which one is the one where they give you lots of sugar? And you begin to glow on the machine. Your body glows, it's like an X-ray. And they could see where the cancer is because that area lights up as the bugs, the cancer, the bacteria, the poison begins to glow because it's devouring the sugar. Look at families where you see cancer running in the family. You'll see high use of chemicals, sugar, and food that actually eats them. Where's my tea? Is this good or is this good? Yeah, PET uses fluoro deoxyglucose. What is that? Fluoro? You better watch that word, fluoro. Whenever you see it, fluoride, fluorescent lights. Huh? That will put you on the floor. What is fluoro deoxy? That sounds like against life or less oxygen or something. I'm just making this up, y'all. I'm just looking at it energetically. Glucose. It shows you where the cancer is because it's eating sugar. Doc, can I just stop eating sugar? No, we're going to give you some more sugar today. Don't worry about it. We're going to shut down all your cells. We're going to shock your system with sugar. Then we're going to take a picture, and then we're going to come back and tell you how bad the cancer is. They never tell you how good it is, how bad it is. You see right here, we saw on the PET scan. Look at there. You lay it out like a little pet. And sit down, little pet, because you act like a pet half the time when you are not ready to be free and to be the owner of your life. I'm not saying you did this on purpose, but today and during this series, you get to wake up or not. You choose. We're going in deep. That's why we're going to have to do that. We can't maybe do 5. We have to do 5 because I'm looking here now how many slides we have to go, and it was not going to make it in this time. And the big piece, the master blaster, we haven't hit yet. Yes, this is about parasites. Intestinal parasites versus systemic parasites. Dr. B, I take a parasite cleanse. I just did one. I did brother blah, blah, blahs. I did sister such and suches. I've been getting emails and calls for years about this. Dr. B, your cleanse is too expensive. And, I found something else for, $16.99 and a weekend. You could get, I bought some pumpkin seeds on sale at the what did the lady say? She bought 5 pounds of pumpkin seeds at the surplus store. Huh? To kill her parasites. They wasn't organic. They was at a surplus, left over. Somebody didn't buy them. The surplus stores get stuff that's left away. You bought them and ate them, and you feel like you're good. Only a parasite would cause you to do that. People want to know, Dr. B, can you break down a little more clearly the difference between intestinal parasites and systemic parasites? Yes, we're going to do that today. So folks use these simple formulations that they've heard about. Dr. Hilda Clark, many, many years ago, she started this whole thing about how easily you could get rid of your parasites. And the parasites were happy that this was coming out because they know how to disguise and disguide your mind so that you think you're doing something. And you are doing something, and we're going to dispel the difference between these two right now. Would this be okay? Intestinal parasites, where they live, primarily in the digestive tract, stomach, intestines, and colon. Common types: roundworms, hookworms, tapeworms, pinworms, Giardia, entomobia, histolica. That one always gets me. These are ones that live primarily in the intestinal tract. How they affect you: steals nutrients from food, cause digestive problems, bloating, diarrhea, constipation, abdominal pain, leads to malnutrition, anemia, weight loss, sometimes visible in the stool. Transmission, usually from contaminated food, water, undercooked meat, or poor hygiene. And I can tell you almost all meat is undercooked unless you cook it to 1500 degrees. Put it in a pottery or a brick oven and turn it into a white ash. You may have gotten rid of most of the parasites because the cyst and certain types of parasites can withstand heat at very high levels and very cold, freezing temperatures. They found it in ice in the North Pole or in the South Pole. You could be buying ice from the ice machine and there's frozen parasites at that public ice machine. Yes, I just need a little ice in my water. That's another issue, that you need everything cold. That's pica usually. Pica is a mineral deficiency. That's a whole nother class. We could talk about that. Systemic parasites, where they live, travel beyond the intestines and invade the tissues, organs, blood, and even the nervous system. Common types: protozoa, plasmodium, which is malaria in the blood, toxoplasma, tissues, it lives in the tissue and in the brain, trypanosoma. Have y'all even heard of that one? Blood and in the nervous system. Helminths, which are worms. Hell myths. The myths was hell. I'm trying to bring a little levity to what we're saying, so we're not so serious, because there is a simple solution that is sustainable. Filarial worms, lymphatic system. Trichinella, muscles. Schistosomes, that's the way I always say it. I love that. Liver, bladder, blood. How these systemic parasites affect you: organ-specific damage, liver, lungs, brain, heart, skin, eyes. Immune system stress and chronic inflammation, fatigue, neurological symptoms, joint muscle pain, more hidden and harder to detect than intestinal parasites. Did you hear what I just said? More hidden, harder to detect than intestinal parasites. Transmission, that means how you get it, can enter through insect bites, food, vegetables also, saliva, air, contaminated water, sex, undercooked meat, and almost all meat is undercooked unless you cook it to about 1500 degrees. Let's be honest. Or direct sun or direct skin contact with a larvae. The larvae could be on somebody's skin and you're involved with skin touching and handshaking. And that's why I asked the Japanese man many years ago, why do y'all bow? Because he said, I don't know what you have. I was like, huh? You can have anything in your damp, wet, open hand. Huh? I looked at my hand and it was a little damp. You know, your palm of your hands will not be a little damper unless you're really dehydrated. If the palms of your hands are not damp a little bit, then you're extremely dehydrated. Put a little salt in your water. Put lemon in your water so that now it can rehydrate you. Without salt or a little lemon or something to structure your water, then your water is not actually reaching your cells. It's being peed out because it's not naturally structured. You know, we do sell the water wand at elevationtime.com, the water wand, which you just rub on the outside of your water, you know, and it begins to structure your water so that your water is absorbable. Most people are dehydrated even though they drink a gallon of water because what they're drinking is not really recognized by the body as natural water, especially if it's gone through a machine and it's turned into what you call alkaline water by ripping the molecules apart, electrocuting the water and saying that this is good for you. That's unholy water. Natural alkaline water is in springs, runs in springs across crystals. So now those ions of those crystals is being, you know, infused into that water, and your body is looking for crystalline water. Okay. Why common herbal parasite remedies may not work on systemic parasites. Listen very carefully. Most of your parasite formulas, your common parasite formulas, have a limited reach. Herbs such as cloves, wormwood, black walnut, pumpkin seeds, and diatomaceous earth, which is not an herb, are primarily active in the digestive tract. They can help weaken or expel intestinal worms and protozoa, but once parasites migrate to the blood, the tissues, or the organs, these herbs rarely reach them in adequate concentrations. I'm going to read it again. Herbs such as cloves, every formula that I have seen since I've been on this natural health thing, which is with the early 1990s, they say cloves, wormwood, black walnut, pumpkin seeds, diatomaceous earth are primarily active in the digestive tract. Those are the ones that they use, at least in the Western world, because we just go along with what we heard and what we read. And you think that these superbugs are fooled by that? And we've been using those same things since before biblical days? There are parasites from different parts of the world that you got to use something from that part of the world to deal with. We're talking about Western parasites, the ones that got to the Western world. And we're not even talking about the zoonotic parasites, the ones that you got from animals. You can eat all the cloves, chew them every day. They're good for you. They're antibacterial. Very good. Wormwood is very good. And did you know, check it out, y'all. You know, this is my specialty and I get very passionate about this. Did you know the wormwood that we are using in the Western world is not the wormwood that was indicated against parasites? It does deal with some. I'm not saying it doesn't work. I'm saying the true wormwood, the actual wormwood, is not even in the wormwood family. Somebody in their study may not have looked at something that was being used in another part of the country. So let's say you go to Let's say you go to the Caribbean and you're looking for dandelion. You know, dandelion is a different plant. Based on the language, they call things different things in different languages. So you go down to Jamaica and ask for an apple. Well, what kind of apple do you want? Do you want the apple that people eat in the West? There's different things that are called different. There's different tongues, different vernaculars, different ways of speaking all over the world. And the thing doesn't mean the same in every language. The wormwood that we're talking about is a wormwood that only grows in China and in South America. For some reason, this is a very special wormwood. When I was doing my research, I needed to go deep. I'm not just going to go with the surface. A lot of people just want to go with the surface. We want it quick. We get an app. We want to swipe it. We want to ask AI. We want to just get it quick. I just need to get it quick. I need it fast food. Just push a button, put it in the microwave. Give it to me fast. I don't want to read. I don't want to study. I'm tired. I'm burnt out. I've had too much sugar to be aware. So now I just want to just give it to me fast. So, go get you some wormwood. Which wormwood? Black walnut. The green black walnut hulls do deal with some intestinal parasites, but which black walnut? Did you know there's several types of black walnut? And where it grows is very important. Pumpkin seeds. Which pumpkin? Which pumpkin are we talking about? Do y'all know how many different pumpkins there are? It's a squash. Which squash? Grown where? How? Some of the parasites eat this stuff. Diatomaceous earth is really good. It's one of the hardest substances on the planet. It's almost like a polished glass. It is very good for scrubbing the intestinal tract. It scrapes out material in your body and binds it and pulls it out when you go to the bathroom. It's very good for the digestive tract. Will this deal with superbugs? Systemic parasites? So I'm going to read this again. Limited reach. This is your common parasite remedies that everybody has. This is a new thing. It's a trend now. Everybody suddenly. I started in 1996, and it was only a few specialists talking about parasites. But where I got my information was from a whole nother place. First of all, I had to have something happen to me. An out-of-body experience, a missing time experience happened where I was taken somewhere and given this information about parasites that are not just physical, they're mental, they're spiritual, they're energetic. This is a very deep subject. A parasite is something that takes, you, controls you, and uses you as the host and gives you nothing. It has you doing things and being things and acting like things that are going to only benefit the parasite. Sound like conquerors, huh? Sound like the oppressor. They're parasitic. That's why they want your stuff and want your art and want your food and want your habits and want your abilities and want your labor. It's a parasite. Keep going, Dr. B. You're getting off. You're getting off. Okay. These herbs can help weaken or expel worms and protozoa, but once the parasites migrate to the blood, the tissues or the organs, these herbs rarely reach them in adequate concentrations. Protective barriers. Systemic parasites also often hide in places with immune privilege. Have y'all even heard of immune privilege? Some of y'all think you're privileged. You're supposed to get this and you're supposed to get that, but you want to pay less for it. I want it cheap, Dr. B. I can't get it. You going to do a sale? Dr. B, I can't get it unless it's on sale. Your stuff is very expensive. You want the best, but you don't want to pay for the best. Remember I said earlier, you have to study the habits of the rich and study the habits of the poor if you would like to be successful. Study both. Systemic parasites often hide in places with immune privilege. Have you even heard that phrase before? Like the brain, eyes, joints, or muscles. Why do those organs have immune or create immune privilege, because what you would use to get rid of those particular parasites would mess with your body's functions. You could go blind. It would shut the brain off, kill the brain, burn out the joints and the muscles. They know how to hide in places where your common herbs, your regular parasite cleanse can't even get. And if it could kill you. Yes, natural product could take you out. Everything is not good for you. The blood-brain barrier. Do y'all know about the blood-brain barrier? Huh? And tissue encapsulation shield them from many plant compounds or mechanical remedies. Like diatomaceous earth is a mechanical remedy which only act in the gut tissue. The blood-brain barrier is the brain is very delicate. It's sensitive to temperature, vibration, sound, frequency, materials, chemicals, and even plant material. Because the brain is so delicate, if it didn't have a filter, then you wouldn't have made it here at all. You wouldn't live. The brain wouldn't develop correctly. So there's a filtering system on the brain to keep things like your herbal remedies and a lot of this other stuff out of the brain. And that's why you end up with things like toxoplasma in the brain. And there's certain other parasites, even some of these tapeworms end up in the brain. Do a little Googling. Tapeworms in the brain. Just tapeworms in the brain. Just Google that. Toxoplasma in the brain. So they understand they know how to hide in places that give them immune privilege. You got parasites in your eyes? Look up at the sky. Look at a white wall. You see those little squiggly lines floating by? Those are floaters, not the little round ones. These are the little ones that look like little worms. They're navigating. These things are alive and conscious. They come together and kiss and touch and swim away and go do things. If you've got parasites in your eyes, then that means they're throughout your system. This is one way to detect them everywhere. I look in the white of your eye. It also shows, the white of your eye also shows the condition of your liver, your kidneys, and your spleen. And if you go to an iridologist, they can look at your eye and tell you things even before they happen, because they develop in your energy field first and it affects the eye. I used to do iridology back in the day. It's a lot of things I used to do. I figured out another way to do this faster and quicker and to deal with what's here now. And that's why I do what they call psychological kinesiology, muscle testing. And when you get your VIP day, we'll do all that. We can do balances and look at where you're at and see what you're eating and go through a whole list of things to find out if you're living the best life. Biofilm and cyst formation. Have you studied biofilm? Biofilm. What is that? Many systemic parasites create a biofilm, a slimy protective layer, or an encyst inside tissue, a cyst in your tissues. That's the place where these parasites live and hang out, and that's where the coffee house is, and that's where they meet and make plans. They're very intelligent, y'all. This makes them resistant not only to common herbs, but also pharmaceuticals. Some of y'all checking out Dr. B for the first time, you may be shocked. This dude's a little wild. Yes, I am. But I'm also passionate. And yet I don't speak in a way just like what they call a very intelligent college, trained person. I may not talk that way because I'm talking to the people. Yes, I taught at college for 4 years, and I was wild at college. I thought they was going to fire me. They loved my teaching. Very natural, Dr. B. We love the jokes. I couldn't even get fired. I wanted to get fired from UCLA, and they wouldn't fire me. They said, you're one of our best teachers. I have a teaching certificate that they gave me at UCLA because they loved the style of being natural and wild. They loved the way I made up words. Yes, but I had to quit. When I realized what the goal of the college was, I had to leave. So this makes them resistant. These biofilms, this is this material they create. Some of it's their toxin, their urine, their pees, their junk, their mess creates a film. And it protects them from you and your immune system and your common herbs that you use for parasites. Life cycle complexity. Worms like Trichinella in the muscles, filarial worms in the lymphatic system, or protozoa like Toxoplasma or Plasmodium, blood and brain. Y'all know about Plasmodium? We didn't get there yet. Have multiple life stages. And if you don't catch them at one stage, you may not be able to catch them because they develop very quickly and fast, and they know how to protect their life. They are here to thrive. Are you? Gut herbs may kill one stage in the intestines, but won't touch larvae, migrating forms, or tissue cysts in distant organs. Distant. It's the song by Marvin Gaye, Distant Lover. Let's change the lyrics. Distant worms, distant parasites that your local herbs may not touch. Lack of systemic penetration. A lot of your natural, normal, regular, everyday remedies may lack systemic penetration. Remedies like diatomaceous earth work mechanically, scrubbing and drying parasites, but only inside the gut tissue. They don't dissolve into the bloodstream, so they can't touch parasites hiding in the brain, the pancreas, the liver, the lungs, the heart, reproductive system, and the nervous system. Yes, the reproductive system also. That's why a lot of parasites, they push you to mate with somebody and make you smell good to somebody else. Yes, Toxoplasma will make you smell good to somebody, look good to somebody. They are operating the system because they want to mate with their friends that are in you. And they get together and you get together and y'all do this whole thing where, you know, you're being and living and doing it and organizing and organizing and organizing over and over and over. And guess what? You're trading parasites back and forth. And this is how they travel. Why common herbal parasites fail against systemic parasites. I'm just going to make it real simple. Here's where they help. Target intestinal worms and protozoa. Reduce parasite load on the gut, in the gut only. Cloves, herbs like cloves, wormwood, black walnut, pumpkin seeds, and remedies like diatomaceous earth work best in the digestive tract. Just to recap. Where they fail, limited reach, cannot penetrate organs, blood, or nervous system. Protective barriers, they hide behind biofilm cysts and or the blood-brain barrier. Complex life cycles. Herbs may kill one stage in the gut, but not larval or tissue cyst. No systemic penetration. Remedies like diatomaceous earth only act mechanically. We already said that. We don't need to say that again. Key takeaway. Common parasite cleanse herbs can be effective for intestinal parasites, but systemic parasites require a much deeper strategy, combining broader spectrum botanicals, biofilm disruptors, detoxification support, and often long-term cycles that outlast parasite life stages. This is how you're going to sustain the victory. You have to reevaluate yourself each time the seasons change and do another cleanse. It's a systemic cleanse. It is also a seasonal cleanse because you're going to get new parasites every season. You can't do it once. A guy told me the other day, he says, Dr. B, I got all these illnesses I'm going through. I said, have you done the parasite cleanse? Yeah, I did one a year and a half ago. You haven't done one every season? No, man, I couldn't afford it. I said, well, you know, what can you afford today? Dr. B, whatever it's going to cost. I said, well, what you going to cost? We're talking about maybe almost $10,000 worth of treatment here, of work. We got to do a lot to work with you. You're an emergency. I got to bring in people and hire other folks and order things that are kind of expensive, and they got tariffs on things right now. He was like, oh, man, I don't care. Let's pay for it. So we are willing in an emergency to pull out all kind of money. Have you noticed that? When the shit hits the fan, you could have removed the fan a long time ago and the shit, and the shit wouldn't have had no fan to hit. That was pretty interesting. I never thought about that before. It just popped up. It's the maintenance, maintaining the victory, being the winner. You can't just win the war one time. You got to keep being ready to look out for invaders. Every time the seasons change. What time is it right now? This is a season change going on right now, going into fall. A whole lot of folks will not be here by winter. Have you studied the amount of people dying every season now, leaving or being, sick beyond their means? Does that mean? Yeah, sick beyond sick. That's deep. Sick beyond their means. It means they can't come back. And you don't want to wait till you're sick and have all these symptoms. Most illnesses, y'all, I've been saying this for many years. Most illnesses are based on parasites, toxins, dehydration, and personal actions that actually cause harm, self-harm. Oh, you may feel good. I feel good, Dr. B. I had my vegan food this morning, and I pray and I meditate. Parasites was praying with you. They was praying you prayed. They was praying you had your vegan. You think parasites care about your vegan food? They eat that too. You got vegan parasites. You got vegetarian parasites. They don't just come from meat. They're in everything. They're in the air. They're in every molecule. You can't get away from them. There's more of them on the planet than you. This is their planet. It's a parasite planet. We're the ones that came here later and moved in. We're the people now are the cancer on the earth. Have you noticed? The earth has cancer called us. And until we get right and start living in alignment with ourselves, with our friends, with our family, and detoxifying on all levels, mental parasites are thoughts and feelings and stuff from the past controlling you. Physical parasites live in and on the body. You have the physical ones that's living in your gut, and then you have the ones that are systemic. But you also have parasite relationships. That's what this class is about. Go back and watch the other classes again and again and again. Put them on repeat. Because there's some things I'm saying and some things that I'm not saying. And some of y'all know exactly what I'm saying. I'm on a public stage. People all over the world are listening to this. It's things I cannot say because the new invisible helicopters and the new invisible government is trying to keep this stuff quiet. That's why they're promoting you taking these simple parasite cleanse. That is a program, y'all. When you look at the cleanse that I put together, if you really go deep, you'll see why it's like this. Why does it also give nutrition to the body at the same time? Because you got to feed the organs. You got to rebuild the tissue that they were living in. It can't just be stripping and cleansing and detoxing. Some people are stripping and cleansing and detoxing all the time because they feel dirty, burning sage all day. They feel bad, like the enemy is going to come get them. The enemy is in you. I said earlier, evil does exist in you. It's in us. Whew. See, look at it. Time is almost up, and I still haven't. I got 50 slides, so we're gonna have to go back and next week we're gonna have to handle this some more because I know folks got things to do, but this is getting good. Parasites as intelligent survivalists. Did you hear what it said? Intelligent. Get the book. I always talk about the book. Where is it? Some people say, well, these things are not smart, Dr. B. They're some of the smartest creatures on the planet. Really good book that just touches on this. This is Your Brain on Parasites by Kathleen McAuliffe. How tiny creatures manipulate our behavior and shape society. That means they're intelligent. They're not just bugs. Parasites as intelligent survivalists. 1, adaptability. Parasites have evolved highly sophisticated, I can't even say it, sophisticated survival strategies. They know the art of war. They created the art of war. Examples, Plasmodium. I want y'all to go check out Plasmodium, the malarial parasite, which you don't think you have. Changes surface proteins constantly so the immune system can't recognize it. Did Did you know that many of our ancestors had malaria and you still have malaria in your system? It's in a quiescent or a quiet state. Or you have the energetic field. This is not epigenetics that the malaria caused. Malaria is so deep by itself that it needs to be studied. We could do a whole class on malaria. It's not the one you think about where people are so sick and it's overt and you know you got it. A lot of this you don't know you have. Not until your system becomes damaged or weakened and you have some sort of trauma. Worms like hookworms secrete chemicals that suppress the immune responses to ensure that they live inside a host for years undetected. They call smart bugs. Mahalia. Did I say that? Mahalia. That was manipulation and behavior all together. Mahalia. Behavioral manipulation. Some parasites literally alter the behavior of their host to secure survival and transmission. Toxoplasma gondii makes rodents lose their fear of cats, so they're more likely to be eaten, helping the parasite reach its final destination. And remember, that parasite now, they are saying up to 70% of the people have toxoplasma. And that's why you're afraid most of the time. You're worried most of the time. You're worried, worrying, fighting, angry, afraid, and you go along with some stuff that don't even make sense half the time. Waiting on somebody or something to save you. Having a fear first response, fear first. And doing things that harm yourself. Please, we're going to have to talk about this next week. We're going to talk a little bit more about schizophrenia. There is a spectrum of schizophreniacs that most of us, even myself, have to challenge. Because on the far side, schizophrenia, you notice it. That person, yeah, well, they got it. But you don't know, on the milder side, it shows up in our society. And that's how our society operates, based on schizophrenia. I'm looking at the time and I'm like, wow. This is a huge subject. Listen, y'all. This subject is, to me, the number one challenge we have as people on the planet. And I'm on the last chapter of my book. It'll be out soon. You'll be hearing about it. The book goes so deep. It's blown my mind. It's taken 7 years to write because I can't finish writing it because it's more stuff, more research keeps coming up. This is the issue. You think it was the people that took over the world, what you call the conquerors, or the founding fathers and mothers and the kings and the queens and the people that seem to run things? They had parasites too. That's why they were doing this. Why would you do something that's going to affect your children and the enemy's children too? Whatever you do to the enemy, you're doing to yourself. I'm talking about the people who have conquered and people that, like to control other people and make more weapons and more weapons and more weapons. They said America's got enough nuclear weapons to blow the world up 10 times. Does that even make any sense? You can only blow it up one time. What's going on here? That's a parasitic nature. You're fighting. Why are we fighting? Why do we hate each other? Why are we meeting people and automatically afraid of them? That's xenophobia. You don't even know them, but you're afraid of them because of how they look and how they wear their hair and the way they act. These are parasitic ways. We're eating each other alive. Mentally, physically, spiritually, even in what we call the conscious world. A lot of your ways are based on you having worms in your head and acting like a worm and being a parasite your own self instead of supporting each other and loving each other. Even some of us that feel like we're not going to spend no money until it's an emergency. I got enough money, but I'm just going to act like I'm not. I need to act like I don't have enough money and need everything as a discount. You discount, count yourself by telling yourself each day, because this is on a subconscious level. These parasites that I'm talking about is not just physical, it's mental, it's emotional. This is how they control the world. So when you detox at a deep level from this, you become free. Parasites trigger sugar cravings, indirectly feeding themselves by influencing your diet. Life cycle mastery. Parasites have common multi-stage life cycles that often involve multiple hosts, i.e. snails, fish, and humans. This is a survival strategy, ensuring that even if one stage fails, another pathway allows continuation of the species. Stealth camouflage. Many parasites mimic host proteins. That's why they're parasites. They can mimic your proteins or coat themselves with host molecules. That's like the wolf putting on sheep's clothing so it looks like a sheep. Did you know parasites can make themselves look like your tissue? Are you aware of this? These are masters of the art of war. That's why you've got to master your art of war. Essentially disguising themselves from immune detection. The immune system can't even detect it, because the herbs are not going to do the work. The herbs feed your immune system, and your immune system now is energized to do the work. But if your immune system can't even, notice that this is a parasite, some parasites are they're translucent, because the immune system sometimes is responding to color and sound and frequency. And if they look at a tissue and that tissue looks okay because they can see right through it because it's translucent, the immune system moves on and says, there's no problem here, nothing to see, everything is peaceful. When actually there's a parasite sticking to your liver, sticking to your kidneys, sticking to your throat, sticking to your ovaries or your testicles or your prostate, sticking to your heart, that your body can't recognize it. And it creates a biofilm or an energy, because these are super bugs. These are the aliens of your science fiction movies. They're just tiny. Whew. I get so excited about this. This camouflage makes them nearly invisible, like master infiltrators in the body. Resilience and persistence. Some of us could use more of this. Some parasites form cysts that can lie dormant for years, waiting for the right conditions to reactivate. Others adapt quickly to herbal or pharmaceutical treatments, making them difficult to eliminate. These parasite cleansers that everybody's talking about, the parasites are used to it. They know the ingredients. They have rewired and changed themselves. They've modulated. They've mutated where now that is their food. Have you seen what happens on the farms when they spray the farms with these insecticides? And all of a sudden the new bugs, the new insects are now immune to the old stuff. Somebody called me the other day and said, well, Dr. B, I got this little zapper thing that, the Hilda Clark and somebody else, you can make these little zappers and you hook them up to your body, you put a battery in there. Let me tell you something. Do you know how many different types of parasites there are? You don't even know, do you? Do you think they're that ignorant where they're going to let you electrocute them and not build defenses in the past? Yes, there are things that can zap certain parasites. This is true. But which ones? Even certain herbs and things are selective. They can only do so much. Huh? So when you say this product kills parasites, which parasites? Which group? Which type? Nothing kills all the parasites. Nothing. But what you can do is attack them for a sustained amount of time, at least 28 days, and handle the different stages. And you can't use just herbs. You're going to have to use a special type of flower essence mixture. Do you know what flower essences are? They're not essential oils, y'all. What do they even do? We'll get into that a little later. Essential oils. What are essential oils? Those are different. Those are high vibrational herbal products. Some parasites don't respond to anything but essential oils. Some parasites don't respond to anything but electrical impulses from crystals. So we create crystal elixirs. In fact, I just did a little YouTube the other day where I'm wildcrafting some goldenrod, and I have these crystals in a copper can, a copper pot, and I'm creating a crystal elixir. Crystal elixirs are very important for certain types of parasites. They will not respond unless you change their vibrational code and their frequency. We also use sound and light to influence the parasites. Light. Yes. There's light codes, there's frequencies, there's pulse code modulation that is created through electrical impulses and piezoelectricity that changes the frequency of your blood, because to deal with certain parasites, you have to change the frequency of the blood. You have to change the frequency of every organ. It takes time, at least 28 days, which is a biorhythm, right? And that biorhythm is going to work with you to strengthen your tissue. Your issues now are going to be dealt with because you're changing your frequency, your attitude. And when you change your attitude, you change your altitude. When you change the frequency of your body, all of a sudden, a lot of these bugs begin to leave. They can't operate, or they go to sleep at least and leave you alone for a while because you hit them on every level. You can't take a simple approach. Everything can't be easy. Push a button, push an easy button. My parasites are gone. Parasites are laughing because you got to realize the strong parasites eat the dead ones. The average parasite cleanse I've seen makes the strong ones stronger. The average parasite cleanse that people are dealing with doesn't deal with superbugs. It doesn't deal with what they call the ones, biological weapons. Have you looked up biological weapons, entities that they created to fight wars and to kill certain people? They even have ethno-specific parasites that they created in labs to mess or to kill or to mess up or to create or to dramatize and keep people in a prison of their mind. I want to show you something. Somebody said, well, Dr. B, how are you putting light? If you don't put light in your formulation, it doesn't have as much energy. What do you mean? Because once you've picked the herb, the energy field begins to drop after 6 hours. It may only have 25% of the life force energy that it had. So dried herbs are good, but they don't have the life force that they had when they were growing. So that's why when I did the goldenrod video, what did I do? I cooked them raw or fresh. Now, all herbs, you can't do that. There's certain herbs like, let's say like elderberry. You eat some raw elderberries, you're going to be in the toilet all day. Unless I said in the toilet. You have to heat elderberry. Certain herbs, you got to change their chemistry using heat. Some ones you have to extract using alcohol. Some you can only extract using vinegar. I am a master herbalist. And the way I learned was not through these books that most of y'all have read. I learned from the indigenous teachers, people who had secrets in science. One of my main teachers was Dr. Kwaku Ando, a Dogon chief, and he was one of the top biologists on the planet. Not biologists, not a biologist. I can't even think of the name of it. His time is almost up, so my brain is slowing down, y'all. But listen, I want to show you something. I'm going to show you how the light wand works. And this is the final stage of our herbal way we put our products together. Check right now your energy level from 0 to 10 on an emotional level, whatever one you want to pick. You could even pick something in your life that feels dramatic that you're going through. Just concentrate on it and give us a number. What is the energy level of that event, that feeling, that emotion, or that illness? 0, it has very little effect on you. 0, it has a strong effect on you. The lower the number, the stronger effect of the mindset or the feeling or the emotion has on you. Pick something. Give it a number. When you have your number of how much effect it has on you, I'm going to show you something that's amazing. Are you ready? You got your number? Write your number down so you can remember it, because in a minute you may not remember it. What I'm going to do now is flash a light. So you're going to look into the screen, look into your channel, your television. Some people have us on television sets all over the world. I'm going to flash a cosmic quantum light. And let's see if it changes. Got your number? If you're at 0, man, you're way down. Let's see how high the number can go. Are you ready? I'm flashing the light. Don't blink. Just look at the light. Now, check your number. Has your number changed? If your number has changed, shout it out. What is happening? This is not a regular flashlight. This light is putting out quantum fields of light pulses, much like the cosmic light that is coming from the omniverse. I have never witnessed anything like this in my life. Now some people say, well, Dr. B, here we go. Somebody saying, Dr. B, we went to your website and those are sold out. They sell out very fast. But you can get them by going to improveyourlife.us. Improveyourlife.us. We have a partnership with them. They create a whole lot of electromagnetic reducing, elements and products. They have the light. They have 3 different types of light. This one is the one I use because it's one of the strongest. They've got, it's amazing that what they're doing, but you can only buy by saying Dr. B sent you or Elevation sent you. You cannot, it's not a public website. By signing, you're actually signing an agreement that you're not going to go tell. Same thing with Elevation. Did you know when you buy something from Elevation, it's basically you're agreeing that you're going to shut your mouth? That's why it says right there, Elevation is a private membership organization. It's private. Now, I'm not a medical doctor, and I don't want to step on the toes of any of the 3-letter organizations. So I've got to be careful. When you go into a private group or you agree to go into a private room, then everything in there is private. So this website, improveyourlife.us, is private. And if you end up there, you can go there. Anybody can go, but you can't purchase. And you have to say Dr. B sent you. So that's where you get the quantum light. You can put it on food, put it on yourself. Yesterday, when I did the VIP consultation, I used it on the lady, and she just went, I'm not even going to tell you what happened. Folks, they're like, what? Because I do tune-ups with the light. You can just shine it. You could go back and play this video right now and look at that light, and you'll receive some of the benefits. You're not going to receive it all because it's digitally encoded into this internet thing. But imagine the organic, natural, vibration that you're going to get from this light if we're shining it or if you're using it. Okay? And these sometimes are on back order. Everybody wants the light. If you're a grower, you can put it on your whole farm because the light shines 150 feet. You can ride through neighborhoods and just shine it on the people, and it brings their energy level up. Now, be careful shining it on your reproductive organs, because if you're going to shine it on yours, you better shine it on theirs, because it brings the energy up. But we put that on our herbal products. All of the products at Elevation Time have light. They also have crystal elixirs. They're using flower essences and essential oils. So our program is different than anybody else's program because you have never seen one that uses this type of stuff, this process. And remember, parasites as intelligent survivalists, they camouflage themselves like spies. They manipulate like master saboteurs. They persist like hidden enemies waiting for weakness. Why Dr. Bees, and this is funny, I asked Chat this. This was weird. I asked Chat this morning about my program. It came back and said this. Why? This is crazy because I'm like, they know everything. Chat knows it all. It doesn't know everything, but it knows what's on the internet. Why Dr. B's 28-day program works for systemic parasites. 1, goes beyond the gut. Most parasites cleanses stop at intestinal worms. The total body program is designed to penetrate blood, tissues, and organs, addressing parasites that hide in the liver, the lymphatic system, and even in the nervous system. 2, multi-layered formulas. The program uses synergistic herb blends that break down parasites' biofilm, cyst, and their protective armor. Targets multiple life stages, larvae, eggs, and adults. Strengthens and eliminates pathways, colon, kidneys, liver, and skin, so the body can safely expel toxins in their parasite waste. Immune system support. Instead of only attacking parasites directly, the program fortifies the immune system's resilience so the body itself becomes inhospitable to invaders. This dual approach weakens the parasite, strengthens the host, and is what makes long-term success possible. Remember, we talked about long-term sustaining the victory? Energetic cellular detox. Parasites don't just steal nutrients, they secrete secret toxic byproducts that cloud thinkings, drain energy, and sabotage vitality. The total body program includes tonics that neutralize these toxins, restore clarity, energy, and support nervous system balance and clarity of mind. 5, full 28-day cycle. Parasites can often survive short cleanses by waiting out the clock. A full 28-day cycle ensures you move through multiple reproductive stages, cutting off their survival strategy and breaking the cycle of reinfestation. 6, holistic alignment. Unlike generic cleanses, Dr. B's program isn't just about killing parasites, it's about physical purification, removing the invaders. Mental clarity, breaking parasite-driven cravings and sabotage. Energetic alignments, freeing life force for higher creative and courage. Is that right? Freeing life force for higher creativity and courage. The result, instead of temporary gut cleanses, the 28-day total body paracleanse program provides a systemic reset, cleanses parasites, restoring resilience, and elevating body, mind, and spirit at the same time. Where do you get it? You go to elevationtime.com. So it is important to realize that if you're attempting to move towards something, there is always going to be opposition, and sometimes that opposition is in you. Sometimes physical opposition is the parasites or the foods and the chemicals that you've ingested. This program helps you get rid of the systemic parasites, or at least to put them to sleep, because you can't kill them all. Let's be honest. It also helps to cut down the cravings, helps you break the habit, the sugar habit. This is one of the best ways to break the sugar habit. And also changes the way your immune system is functioning, the way your mind is functioning, the way your spirit needs to be freed. You've got to free it up from what is binding it. So this creates a vital life force energy field that goes way beyond a few simple herbs. It is a program that deals with everything in your system. And let me tell you this really quickly before we go. Some people say, well, why does the elevated total body program cost more? And why does it have 2 other ingredients or 2 other products? Well, one of them is the Master Mushroom Tonic. It alone is one of the most powerful immune boosters or enhancers there is. There's 11 special, some of them are very little known mushrooms that must be combined very carefully. You just can't mix all this stuff together. Everybody just wants, so this is supposed to be good for this. Well, this is good for that, Dr. B. Oh, you're reading those books and they're not telling you how and why. They got to be all done. You have to have a graduated approach to herbalism. You also have to have a metaphysical approach to herbalism. which we will be teaching soon. So the mushroom tonic can do things that herbs cannot do because herbs cannot recognize your DNA versus others. Certain mushrooms can actually recognize tissue that's yours versus foreign tissue or foreign invaders in a way that herbs cannot do. We could do a whole class on medicinal mushrooms. They're all different, but they're living, and they attach to you, your consciousness, and help to push you in the direction that you'd like to go. And there's also 7 herbs in there, and 7 of those herbs, if you look at them, you're like, what is this? Have you ever heard of ball moss? How many of y'all have even heard of ball moss? Do you know what that is? Ball moss. It grows on trees in little balls. Do you know about that? So we're using things that are kind of rare, unknown, new to the world, because the reason I'm doing this is because I was taught this a different way. Some of this happened to me. It was something that was put into me. I am here to take another approach, not talking shade against anybody else's approach. If you like their approach, if you like what that person is doing, do it. I am no way saying I'm the best at anything but what I do. So if you feel where Dr. B is coming from, let's get involved. If you feel others, I support everybody that's doing something to try to help our people. But there are pieces that everybody is missing. Even me, I have certain blind spots. That's why I only study and talk about certain things. I'm not good at everything, and neither are you. But let's be good at keeping this thing, this victory that we are all obtaining right now at this particular time. We've got to do it constantly. And every season is the time, because these parasites are changing with the seasons. So let's outsmart them. We have to be masters of war, the art of war. To know yourself and not your enemy, you may win the battle, but you won't win the war. To know your enemy, but not yourself, you may win the battle, but not the war. But when you know yourself and you know your enemy, and you are a strategist, then you will win the war and the battle. That's what time it is, y'all. Time is up, so I've got to go. I'm getting messages. Dr. B, get off the air, because I can tend to stay for long periods of time. Really quickly, next week we're going to talk about frequencies of food. We're going to talk about fall foods, but also iron is really important right now. Without iron, you will never have the courage to fight and win and stay there. Most people are anemic, so they don't have the strength. Heaven on earth is for your nervous system, so you can calm down and relax, so you don't take things so personally, and you're not trying to fight everybody and argue with everybody. Heaven on earth helps you relax, but it gives you energy also. Passion. You're going to need passion to move through this time period. You're going to have to be passionate moving towards, your goal. You have to see it. No matter what anybody else says, you're passionately moving towards your goal that you've chosen. And you're not waiting and hoping that other people are down with you. You do it by yourself, for yourself, and others will follow if you're successful. So become successful and be a winner already. Focus. You're going to need to focus on a goal. Stay focused, because mass distraction is everywhere. You need to learn quickly and not fall back. Don't backslide. Don't let the parasites talk you out of it. Don't let the people, the conquerors, the naysayers, the disagreeables, the entities, the evil that may be already out there moving towards you when you start moving towards success. You're going to need to focus and know that you're a winner. Winners win by what? Already winning. And finally, your pineal gland, your first eye, can see success. But if it's calcified, if it's been taken, if it's been enslaved, if it's been encapsulated by calcium, then it can't work. So this product, this is the one that helps you move magically towards your goal. It also helps to get rid of the heavy metals, which is something we'll cover possibly in class 5. I would like to see you all in class 5. We're going to do class 5 next Saturday. It looks like everyone's saying yes. If you're interested in possibly doing a VIP day or a VIP session, or if you have a group who's ready to be considered VIPs, we will talk to you. We can't offer these to everybody. This is something that we can only offer to a chosen few. First of all, there's only so much time in a day. And there's only certain dates we're going to be able to do this on. Okay. So if you're selecting yourself and you're saying, hey, look, I'm ready to do this and invest for the first time totally in yourself, and you'd like a personal upfront session with Dr. B, a day or even just a consultation, you're going to have to step into the winner circle, because winners do one thing. They're always winning. They create the winner vibration, and they stand and walk in the winner circle. We don't know when our next session is going to be in Atlanta. Somebody's asking. We're not sure. We may be doing another core experience. And if you have not been a part of our core access experience, that's the thing that changes everything. It's the game changer. We will be announcing it. So make sure you're on the email list at elevationtime.com. And please subscribe for our emails. Also, join our YouTube. What do you call it? Subscribe. Also, check us out at where else are we now? What is it called? IG, and also on TikTok. So let's go. Don't become a follower, become a leader. I'll see you all next week. So we're going to announce this soon. Class 5, the enemy within. It's time to conquer and be who we came to be. This is the best time. When the world is crazy and it looks like it's coming to an end, you got to create your new beginning. Much love, much power. Allow yourself to be your higher self. Don't wait for success. Create success. It's elevation time. Travel light without all that baggage. Most of it isn't yours. See you soon. Much love.
I allow myself to be my best self. To be creative. And to let go. I allow myself to live an elevated life, to stay focused and clear, always moving towards a goal. I allow myself myself to let go and to learn to live and to grow. I allow myself time and space. I allow. I allow myself to feel, to express myself, and to use the talents that I possess. I allow myself to make love out of the things that are not love. I allow myself to be a creative, live in the moment. I allow.